Happy Sunday night, the internet. As you can see, I've done a lot of laundry today. I've also, and there's some over there. I'm not moving it. I don't care. Like, you can be like, well, that's kind of a bad back. I don't care. Okay? It's been that kind of week. I've had a very long week. Okay? We're going to do a hangout, or we were going to do a hangout, and then Jay invited some people, and then those people apparently didn't want to hang out with me, I guess, but they wanted to hang out with him until all hours of the night last night, which is weird. I don't know. If I see you, I'm calling you out. Anyway. Especially the imaginary friend one. Just say it. But we're going to do kind of a lighter sale. Guys, I will show you why we're doing a lighter sale tonight. Here, just after I play the thingy. Say hi when you get here. I see that you're here, and I don't see you saying hi. You should say hi.
Yes.
I'm in a mood, Jay. It's going to be one of them.
Awesome.
Okay, TJ, we will definitely talk about Mobile Meals dessert. Brother, there was this peanut butter pudding thing that I honestly considered proposing marriage to. Okay, like, I don't know if you can marry a dessert in the state of Ohio, but I was going to find out. Okay. So tonight's going to be a little bit of a lighter sale. Again, I want to be more of a hangout tonight, just because this pen for scale is the invoice I have to get out. If you have not seen an invoice from me in a couple of weeks, there it is. Yeah, pen for scale.
Hey, Mike.
So like, I've got a mountain of work to do to get caught up, and the shipping is well, we're gonna have to give my mailman like a bottle of scotch for Christmas because this is gonna give him a hernia. So like, just know that that's why tonight is a little bit different than normal. I've got very few books. In fact, if we go through everything or we sell out, we're gonna call it a night. But otherwise, we're just going to hang out. We're going to talk. There was some big comic news this week. There was some big comic discussions this week. I did a fancy event that TJ wants to hear me talk about baked goods from.
Yes.
But man, I really want to talk about the Buffalo Ranch Aioli fried chicken sliders.
Wow.
Yeah. We'll get to those in a minute, but I'm going to switch the camera over. I also want to do a little bit of a technical test. Having moved out of the office, right, I have some technology that was serving its purpose in the office that is now here. And as such, I would like to try and use. Well, I couldn't quite get it working, so it's a little bit of a different show tonight because I'm going to have to do stuff like this where I turn the camera off and then it takes a minute to switch over. Okie dokie. See, I'm only going to show 2 books at a time. I don't want to pull the whole rack out. I don't want to do all that. So, let me get adjusted here, Jay, and we will get started with Monstrous Volume 1 by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. Guys, this is the collector's edition. Limited to 500 copies. Collects the first 18 issues. And I do believe it's signed. So this is the Monstrous Volume 1 leather-bound. It's supposed to look leather-bound hardcover. What, did Jenna hear it and want you to buy it, Jay? Is that what's happening right now?
No, I was trying to find one of our... I have not read that yet. I know we have a volume of it. I was just seeing if I could see it from here.
So I'm going to do this half off. That's how rare this book is, okay? One of 500. I think it's signed. Again, really, really limited. I was given this as a gift by the folks at Image Comics. So it's gold foil, big thick square.
Beautiful looking book.
You've got the whole paper thing on the back that explains what it is. Retail on this is $150. $75. Okay. Note to self: figure out how to lock a camera down more. Okay. Next, I had showed a Tea Dragon book last week. These are really good all ages manga inspired hardcovers. Winner of the 2018 Eisner Award for Best Publication for Kids. Winner of the 2018 Eisner Award for Best Webcomic. Winner of the 2018 Dwayne McDuffie Award for Kids Comics. American Library Association's Rainbow Book List of 2018. School Library Journal's Top 10 Graphic Novels of 2017. So, like, this book won a bunch of awards at Tea Dragon Society. It was also based. There was also a game made out of it. Retail on this is $18. So tonight we will round down and do it for $15. So how was everybody's week?
Did Miss Jen get a copy of that?
Of what?
The Tea Dragon.
Oh, I think she got a copy of the follow-up book.
Okay.
I know Miss Jen probably has this in stock all the time. It's one of those kind of books, right?
Yeah.
So Jay, you did all of my shows this week.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday when we did stuff, but
yeah.
How was that? How was the week?
You know, most people would be like, "Man, that's just a lot of work," and they're correct when saying that. But the fact is, as biased as it sounds, I love working on every show, and I love having the opportunity to work the shows that I don't normally work either. Like, I love hanging out with Rich and Dez. I love hanging out with Mog and Mel, and Miss Jen, and just everybody. So while it messes up my sleeping because my sleep's messed up anyway, but when you throw in a, hey, you're going to do this instead of doing what you normally do on Thursday, it's whatever. But I have a good time. I've been at my computer every day since last Friday. Because I have the Friday shows, then we have our shows on Saturday, then we did the live with you on Sunday, then worked all the shows. It seems tiring, but I that's how I love doing this so much that it's not like it's work, obviously, but it's a good time. Like, I love doing this. So
yeah, I mean, and I like, me, I don't like to ask you to do that, right? Like,
yeah.
I hate asking you to cover for me. But Thursday night, so I did fundraiser for, it's called Sip Sip Hooray Under the Big Top. Which is a fundraiser for Mobile Meals of Greater Toledo. If you don't know what Mobile Meals is, Mobile Meals takes food to senior citizens, the elderly, the infirm, people who can't get out of their house. Takes them food, so they have like food to eat, right? But more than that, the volunteers who go to the houses like spend time with these people. Because a lot of them, their bigger concern isn't the food insecurity, it's the people insecurity. They don't have family, they don't have a lot of friends, they don't have a lot of people around them to come in and like hang. So Mobile Meals is a opportunity for them to see other people, which I think is a really dope idea, right?
Yeah.
I think it's really important that you get to see other people. So, that's fun. We raised like $12,000 in one night
Awesome.
for them, which is super cool. The way the event works, though, is they get restaurants from around our area to come in and do like sampling, do like a grazing menu. So you go table to table, and each restaurant or caterer or whatever gives you something to try. So I had a lot of very good food from a lot of very disparate places, which I really liked. Okay, let's change out what's on the board here.
Yeah, I ended up showing off the picture, and everybody's like, "Was he at a wedding?" And I was like, he literally just said what the event was, and I totally blanked on it. But I was like, no, he was not at a wedding.
No, it's not at a wedding.
Hey, Ed.
All right. So this is a very specific product that is kind of interesting. This is published by Rocketing Studios. It's $10. I have 4 copies of this. This is Dead World Zombie Soda Mixology.
What?
So what you have is Caliber used to publish the book Dead World, and they made zombie soda. What they've done is they've taken the ideas of the different kinds of sodas they make and done either photos of zombies or sketches of zombies where you make cocktails with the Dead World soda. Now, here's the problem. You can't get Dead World soda anymore. So, the nice thing about it, though, is you can get most of these flavors from other, like, soda companies. So, like, you can get them from Jones Soda or some of the other companies that make, fun flavored sodas. So, like, this first one, Orange Dead World Zombie Soda. You can get orange soda from anybody. Ginger Ale Dead World Zombie Soda. Well, you can get ginger ale from anybody. Green Apple Dead World Zombie Soda. We can get green apple soda from Jones Soda. So there's opportunities in here. Cotton candy might be a little harder, but it's all like mixology, mixed drinks, cocktails based around zombie soda. And again, they're all a little bit gothic-y in terms of their drinkishness. All right. This one is a Lorena, Jen King, Patrick. This is a $5 book. This is an issue number 1. Finger bang number 1. Or not. Guess I'm keeping that one.
Oh.
Let's replace that with, from Behemoth Comics, this is a $10 book. A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night.
Oh.
There we go. So at the dinner that I did all of their tech, right? I can't afford a plate. I can't afford to go to this dinner, like too hoity-toity for me. But like I did all their tech. So I did all of their video, all their projection. I was their DJ. My team and I played all their music. Really at some point I became the vibe, curator. I.e., I was responsible for making sure the octogenarians that had given their money got out on the dance floor.
Oh.
Yeah, you want to guess which song got the most Usher in the old people's soul?
I shudder to think, honestly.
Thriller?
No.
I put
Oh.
on Thriller, and this old man with white hair got out on the dance floor, and the next thing I know, he's surrounded by like 20-something blonde marketing executives in leather pants and 6-inch heels. And his wife is just human. So she comes out and does that thing that you do when you're in your 20s and you go to the club and you like dance up on your man.
Yeah.
Except that she is 80 plus.
Oh no.
Having like a dance battle with these 20-somethings.
Oh.
And so because I'm me, I decided to play that right into Ghostbusters so that the battle could continue.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
That is tremendous.
It was a pretty good night. In that regard. But so the dinner, as I don't think these are hitting anybody's real fancy tonight. And I think what I'm going to do, Jay, I think we're going to bolt on a lot of the idea of sales tonight. I'm just going to offer a couple of other things here.
Okay.
And then we'll just talk. There is video, but I didn't take it, TJ.
Oh.
Believe me when I say Mobile Meals will be using it for social media. All right, this is Marvel Siege Battlefield. This will be $10. And from Marvel, this is a Marvel graphic novel. I will just charge you cover price of $7. Written by Joe Duffy, art by Bob Hall, starring the most prolific actor from all of Lucasfilm's history, Warwick Davis. This is the official comics adaptation of Willow. I'm shocked that didn't get a response from somebody. Okay. Let me see what else is laying right here on top of this. No, we'll save that. We'll save that. We'll save the rest of the stuff. We'll do it Tuesday night once I'm caught. Because I'll have more product to offer on Tuesday night. So, guys, why don't we do this? This is the last stuff I'm going to offer tonight. I told you it wouldn't be much. But we'll just flip over and we'll talk the rest of the evening. Because then I could turn this webcam off and let it charge. Jay, did you like the film Willow?
I loved Willow.
Is Warwick Davis the greatest actor?
Yes.
In the history of all of Lucasfilms?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's Warwick over Cruise all day, TJ. Sorry.
What's Tom Cruise been in at Lucasfilms?
Was Legend a Lucasfilm?
I don't know, but it's not Star Wars or Willow. Those are the only two that count. All right. Boom. Switch back over. All right. So let's do this. There we go. So I go to this party Thursday night while Jay is working for me. Do I sound all right, Jay? I put my microphone down.
Yeah, you're good.
A little further from my face. All right, cool.
Good.
So should I walk you through the menu?
Yes.
All right. So you come into the room where the food is. You immediately turn right. And first are 3 meatballs that are about the size of a baseball with homemade sourdough rolls and what's that kind of it's the tube noodles, but that are like angular on the side. You guys know what I'm talking about. They're like, they got a hole in the middle. They're noodles. Listen, it wasn't spaghetti, angel hair, or mac and cheese noodles, so I don't know what they were.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you had that, and you got a little sampling of that. You got a giant meatball, a little bit of pasta, piece of bread. Then next was a place called, I don't know, maybe. I think it was penne. Is penne a thing?
Penny regatta?
I think penne noodles. Not penne from The Big Bang Theory. Or Penny Sewell, the football player. Anyhow. So you got a few noodles, you got a giant meatball, you got a piece of bread. The next is a place called Wee Bee Ribs. I don't know the name of the first place. The meatball was so good it put me into a coma, and I forgot to get their name. I think it was called The Standard, which is a fancy restaurant where I can't even afford to look at their menu, let alone go there. Wee Bee Ribs is a food truck. Pulled pork, pulled chicken, amazing sauce. Then next to them was a catering place called Ice, which was a longtime restaurant in downtown Toledo that closed during COVID. They had the Buffalo Ranch aioli fried chicken sliders, which was just it was just a giant sized chicken nugget for McDonald's, basically. You know, it wasn't like it was a slider, so it was kind of small. What up, Ship? Ship, you want to buy comic adaptation of Willow? I sell to you, fair price. Anyhow, but then they also had something they were calling Mini Macs, which was basically a Big Mac slider that tasted just like a Big Mac, only like if Big Macs were made with real meat and cheese and stuff. So then you got those, and by that point, you're trying to hold 4 plates full of food. So you got to go sit down and eat. But you need something to drink, right? So the inner ring are all local distilleries, breweries, and mixology companies who are giving you samples. Now, as yesterday was my soberversary, I obviously didn't take advantage of that, right? But they had a lot of options there. They all looked very tasty. So that was a thing. But I went out to the regular bar and they had soda and all this kind of stuff. But then they had specialty cocktails from local breweries. Again, they donate. Everything is donated. And then you pay for it all with cash. And then all that money goes to Mobile Meals. So they had like several different mocktails and stuff out there. But like I just had diet soda because I was working. And at that point, I asked them, and they brought me over a giant, one of those jugs of water to put ice in, and like, you see them like in fancy hotel lobbies.
Yeah.
They just brought me one of those on my own because I was sweating because I was running so much, like doing so much work. Because by the time the food started, we had a band on stage called Distant Cousins, and I was mixing that. So like they were playing, I was running their sound. I was getting back and forth for food. I was doing PA announcements with the MC in the food room. And then in between sets, we were doing PA announcements with the MC in the other room where people were sitting and eating. So it's like, I probably walked 6 miles between 5 and 6:30. Like just back and forth across this room. But then you finally get to eat, right? And by then your food is cold, but it's okay because it's still good. So I ate all that, and then I went back in, and they had the chef from Mobile Meals. So the thing about Mobile Meals is it isn't like it's just heated up trash, right, that you're serving people. Like the food that comes to these people is very good. And these are old folks. These are even folks our age who are suffering from food insecurity, right? That get Mobile Meals. So it was the head chef from Mobile Meals who was doing brisket and mashed potatoes. I don't eat mashed potatoes, but I did eat the brisket. It was pretty decent. And then next to them was two food vendors I didn't try, which was also Mobile Meals, but it was Mobile Meals culinary program. So they hire kids who are in culinary school at the local community college or at local high schools to prepare meals. And that was a vegan salad. So I skipped it. It's
Good
like,
choice.
if you're going to give me a salad, throw some meat in it.
Mm-hmm.
And like some cheese and some eggs and stuff. But no, this was just a vegan salad. I don't know what a vegan salad like. Anyway. So then next to them was a place called the Bombay Kitchen, which had this real fancy samosa, which is Indian food. I got one. I took one bite of it. I had to throw it immediately away because it was too spicy for my lily white see-through behind. In fact, the one bite I had haunted me the rest of the evening. Next to them was Roosters, which is a sports bar, fried chicken place. So they had 2 types of chicken wings with 4 different sauces you could try. And then next to them was a place called Calvino's, which again had a salad. It wasn't vegan though. Like this one had like bacon and chicken and like pepperoni in it because Calvino's is an Italian pizza joint. Plus a ton of dressing and real good salad. But they also had a different kind. They had veal piccata meatballs, which were very nice. I don't generally go in for veal. Had I known it was veal, I probably wouldn't have eaten it to begin with. But once I stuck one in my face hole, kind of was over. And then next to them was the one of the other vendor I didn't try, which was a Cuban food restaurant. And their thing literally said, "Warning, spicy." And I went, "Can I just smell it?" And so I smelled it, and I burnt my nose hair, and I left. Right. So like you have 2 hours to like try all this food and try all this drink and all this kind of stuff. And then the actual event starts. We had performers from a place called Glowvation. They're a circus performers. So like we had one of those girls who climbs up on one of those rings and spins around. You know what I'm talking about? Like the aerialists.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Then there was a guy who juggled glow-in-the-dark stuff. Like there were some bowling pins, there were balls, there was a bunch of stuff that he would juggle, like, and he would throw at people, and then they'd catch it and throw it back, and he wouldn't break juggling. Like, pretty good crowd interaction with the juggler. Then there was a girl who did like, what's that thing where you like bend yourself into a pretzel? Contortionism?
Yes.
Yeah, she did that, but she also did hula hooping. So at one point she had like 13 hula hoops on her. Yeah, I didn't get it either. But that was fun. And Distant Cousins played some more, and we had our speech from the CEO, and that's when then I take over. Because at that point I become the DJ. And so we're playing music, and I'm on the microphone just calling people out, right? There's a silent auction, and I'm calling people out, trying to get them to bid. So people were bidding on the silent auction. They had a photo booth. We had the thing from Big that makes Tom Cruise into a grown up.
Fortune teller machine?
Yeah, fortune teller, but not a machine, like a lady. Then the caricature artist, and then we had like the try your luck games that you see at the carnival, like wine toss. We had a Wheel of Fortune. We had the thing where you pick a duck and don't win prizes, but you might win prizes.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. And then it becomes time for dessert. So dessert was provided by 7 other local establishments, right? Couple of country clubs, couple of like bakeries. Toff's ice cream just had a freaking ice cream cart where you just go over and open it up, and there's like just pints of ice cream. And you're like, huh, I wonder if this will fit in the back of my car. I wonder if I could hook this if it would hook to my hitch and I could just pull it away. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, so I had a bunch of cookies from fancy places, but one of the country clubs had this peanut butter pudding, peanut butter chocolate, graham cracker, peanut butter chocolate, graham cracker, like a Oreo whipped cream topped with a strawberry. thing that was so good, I almost cried. So that was Sip Sip Hooray, and that's why Jay filled in for me on Thursday. But again, we raised $12,000 for a really noble cause in mobile meals. A lot of the times, and Jay will attest to this. A lot of times, if I'm not here, if I've taken a night off, it's because I'm doing like a philanthropy or
Yeah.
like a lot of the other gigs that I work for my side job are nonprofits or local charities or whatever who need a person who knows how to press buttons. And there's another company in town who does that, who I could just assume let do it, right? And I could be here and do the XP. But this other company charges so much that it would like cost the charities too much money. And because like I'm a good guy, and wait, you're gonna feed me? And like you're gonna feed me from restaurants I can't actually afford to go to most of the time. I will do it cheap. Is there is there a dessert table? Is one of my big questions, right? Like, can I eat candy? You know, that kind of stuff. So a lot of times when I'm not here on Thursdays, it's because I'm doing that, or I'm professional wrestling. But that is less often now. So you know, uh, but it got me thinking. This price point thing got me thinking because, like, I look at my business and I'm like, I can afford because I'm just me, and like for this event, I hired a helper. But like because I'm just me, I can afford to do things cheaper than a company that say hires a bunch of techs and then assigns them to different jobs, right?
Yeah.
And because I don't have to take the company cut, right? I am the company. And it's funny because I woke up Friday morning and there was some scuttlebutt in the comic world. And I'm not going to go into what it was. It's not important. But it got me thinking about price point. And it got me thinking about at what point is the cutoff on an indie book? At what point is the price too high for you to pay to buy an indie book? So, somebody like Henri, right, is a one-man operation. It's Henri. He hires an editor, he hires an artist, and that's about it. Right? He does all the distribution himself. He does all of the sales himself. He does all of the marketing himself. At what price point does Henri price himself out of the market? And we're talking quality independent, right? It doesn't matter how good your book is, right? Like there has got to be a price point that prices you out of the market. When this book came out, right? Like this was a $5 book, and I got everybody to sign it, and then I paid to have it slabbed because the people who worked on this book are some of my best friends. So there was like no price I wouldn't pay. But when other indie books hit the market, like Fingerbang that I just showed earlier, there was like a level that I wouldn't go, right? Like I'm like, how much is this book? And when they're like, it's $5, I'm like, okay. If Fingerbang #1 had been $10, I don't know that I'd have bought it. What do you think, Jay?
Well, I think y'all are going to hear my dog talking to me for one. So if you hear him, I apologize. He's just.
Well, what does he think about price points?
He was yelling at me earlier. So
how much too much for comic? I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. There are times where if it's not a full like graphic novel, I cannot see myself paying $20 to $25 for a 48-page issue of a comic.
Mhm.
Like I'd love to support independence and Kickstarters and things like that, but I also got to think about, I have a house, I have a wife, I have a dog, I have things I got to take care of.
Yeah, Sean.
I got Sean, even though he doesn't exist most of the time. Like I want to, like I'll share a campaign out. No problem. But yeah, for me personally, when it starts getting to that, it's only 40 to 48 pages and you want 25, 30 or higher sometimes. I've seen some campaigns. It's higher. I'm like, it's too stiff for me. Like I understand you got other people you got to pay. Most of the time they use that funding to fund their next book as well. Yeah, that's where I personally have to drop it off. It's when it starts getting that high, because unless it's a graphic novel that you're putting out, like a whole thing, because a lot of times, I don't just do one and done with some of these campaigns. Like I just backed a campaign not that long ago. It was the second issue. Like I can't justify myself spending $25-$30 an issue for a comic. So that's kind of where I draw it at. It depends on
So,
like page count and stuff like that.
so like, here's the question then. Like, here's the question I want to ask: as you move through society, right? As you guys move through the world, you go to the grocery store and like stuff's getting higher. Obviously, there are things. I don't know if I muted that before I sneezed or not.
Bless you. That was a cool sound.
Okay. I think I muted it maybe midway through. Anyhow, obviously there are things that you can't go without, right? And this is not a political conversation. But at what point in your life have you been a buyer of a thing and then stopped buying that thing because you're like, are you kidding me? And I'll give you an example. Wednesday afternoon, I'm setting up for Sip Sip Hooray. And I stopped at a well-known bell-shaped restaurant that serves food from south of the border. I got 2 tortilla shells folded in half with cheese. One of them had chicken in them and a soda. And it cost me $15. I don't know that I'll ever eat at a bell-shaped restaurant from south of the border again, because I go to like a real restaurant with like real people really from there, not some dude who dropped out of DeVry who's running the fryer. Like, and get much better food for about the same price. So, what are some examples from y'all's lives of things that you're like, I used to buy that thing and then it got to be too expensive and I stopped? One of them for me, Post-it notes. I go through a lot of them, but I've stopped being able to. I can't just go to justify going to the store and buying a handful because I need them for a show. Like, I've got to buy them by the caseload from Amazon or from 3M or wherever, like, to justify how many I go through. Is there something like that for you, Jay, where it's like, you know what, I really miss blah, but now it costs so much, I don't do it anymore.
So for video games, I got Game Pass for Xbox because you pay $60 to $80 for a game, but it's not a complete game most of the time. There's add-ons, there's DLC, there's all these other things. So that $60 to $80 game ends up costing you anywhere from $100 to $140. Like I can get Game Pass, get the game. I don't have the physical game. I know how a lot of people are with physical media is better, and I understand that. But I could also wait until that game gets marked down, gets lower in cost. Like I got to play a waiting game with it. But as far as brand new games go, they're just too much for me nowadays. And streaming services are getting ridiculous to me as well, TJ, because I cut my cable to get rid of the cable bill But in order to watch a trilogy, sometimes some of them do this. They'll have 1 or 2 movies on this platform, but if you want to watch the third one, you got to go and get this platform to get it. And it's crazy to me. Streaming is getting out of control. Everybody has a something plus service now.
So can I tell you, this is what I love about my family has ATT. Included in our package is HBO Max, now ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. Now, it's the ones with commercials, which kind of sucks. But like all included with, oh, by the way, we also get DirecTV streaming. So like I've got cable plus all of these streaming services, which is pretty nice. But I'll tell you, guys, if you're at all a fan of improv comedy or are a little bit nerdy or like D&D live play, like right now, you have Critical Role Campaign 4 is happening, which you can watch on YouTube. But even that, you got to pay some stuff for sometimes. For $7 a month, you can get Dropout.tv. And it is, I've gotten more hours of entertainment out of Dropout.tv than basically any other streaming service in recent history. They have Dimension 20, which is D&D live play. They have Make Some Noise, which is their version of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Except that it started with a bunch of guys just making sound effects with their mouths. Then they have Game Changer, which is a game show that is the contestants are improv comedians, and the rules change every episode. Then they have a ton of other stuff. Dropout.tv used to be College Humor, so they also have the entire College Humor library. So you remember those Pete Holmes videos where he was Batman?
Yes.
All of those are there.
Love those.
So I love Dropout TV. And the thing about Dropout TV is it's like surprisingly anti-capitalist. So like refusing to raise their prices, and they pay profit sharing to anyone who even auditions to be on their shows, even if they don't make it on their shows. Like, and they launched a thing. They just launched a thing where you can pay them more if you want, but you don't have to. But in exchange for paying them more, you get access to like exclusive merch drops, there's no exclusive content. All the content goes to everybody. What up, Murdoch? But like things like merch drops and iPhone backgrounds and like cell phone backgrounds and like they send you an extra email every week with a schedule of what's coming out that week. Like that's it, and you're paying like $9 a month instead of $7. No, that was Funny or Die. TJ, different company, different thing. That was Funny or Die. Which, God, that platform was genius when it started. No, Murdoch, it totally is worth it because the idea of you pay us more is Dropout has built a community that is sort of like they want to support Dropout for doing what they do, right? There was an episode of Game Changer last season called Who Wants to Be Jacob Wysocki? Jacob is an actor, comedian who appears on Dropout a lot, who had a really rough year. He lost his mom. He had some really heavy stuff happen. But during the whole thing, like anytime that they would hire him for stuff, he would try to bring in his friends and get them work. He would, they did an episode where each comedian raised a bunch of money, and he like made sure different community organizations got equal money rather than just raising money. Like, so he was giving it away. So they did a branded episode with LinkedIn where they gave one dude $100,000. And they did the whole thing with like help of his dad and his best friends and all. Like it was a Whose Line Is It Anyway, where he literally couldn't miss a question. So it really is about supporting like the improv and kind of underground comedy community in uh, New York, LA, and Chicago. So it's a really good show. So paying the extra money, the extra $2 a month, means that you're supporting them and doing their mission, right? Like it's, hey, I can afford a couple extra bucks. I'm doing all right. Let me pay a couple extra bucks because I really enjoy what you're doing. And oh, by the way, I will take that exclusive merch drop and that exclusive digital content or digital stuff, add-ons, the extra emails with the, like, and they've done like AMAs for people who are paying the more money. So like you get stuff, but it's not content. So I think it's pretty fun. Anyway, that was my pitch for dropout.tv. By the way, guys, if you go on the internet, look up dropout.tv. Its own the CEO is Sam Reich. His dad was Robert Reich, aka Bill Clinton's labor secretary. And Sam, whose dad is Bill Clinton's labor secretary, dropped out of high school to be a comedian. So don't think this is like a nepo baby thing. Like, no, not at all. Jay disappeared. That's disconcerting.
He was getting too crazy close to my tower. He was about to knock the thing over.
Han, calm down.
It's just me and him here, so he's like, Jenna's never coming home again. So
she's been gone longer than she was supposed to be.
Oh, she's home. She's just working today.
Oh, okay. Oh, so he's just having dog anxiety.
Yes.
Got it. That's a different thing. I'm like, wait, I thought she was supposed to be on Friday.
Anyway. He's in the room with me, but I'm not right there with him.
Right.
So he just gets crazy. Here's what I tell people. The stuff I pay for, I'm not real big with having the ads. But I also watch a lot of Tubi, which is free TV. And yeah, if you watch it on the TV, it does have a couple of ads in the middle of what you're watching. You watch it on the computer, the ads are at the beginning and at the end. And I mean, they got some good stuff on that platform. Like they just put on Pirates of Dark Water. I've been watching the Men in Black, the series. I love that. I love that cartoon. Like they got a lot of good stuff. Streaming is just, like I said, it's weird to me when the streaming people raise their prices for their stuff with commercials. If I'm going to have commercials, I'll watch Tubi. It doesn't bother me. It bothers me when we're paying X amount of dollars for something like, oh, well, we're going to start putting ads back in, even though you had the ad free. It's just weird, man. I've also been watching, I don't play the game at all because these games, those like Telltale games aren't really for me, but Dispatch. I've been watching the episodes of Dispatch. That is an amazing show to watch. Even if you don't play games like that, I've watched every episode. I'm like, man, the voice acting, like you got Travis Willingham and Aaron Paul, like Jeffrey Wright.
How many people does Aaron Paul call a bitch?
A lot of them, actually.
Okay, good. As long as he's saying his catchphrase.
But it's been a lot of fun. That's what I watched last week. And Chainsaw Man. I watched Chainsaw Man. And I finished.
Chainsaw Man's so good.
Yes. And I finished What We Do in the Shadows. Very sad to see that show go. But that is one of those instances where I like the movie. Don't get me wrong. I love the show. I think the show for me was better than the movie was.
See, I think we need a Jackie Daytona spinoff?
Yes. Tucson, Arizona.
Right. A Jackie Daytona Travels America. Like Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives with Jackie Daytona. Anyway. So I kind of, because like the comic industry was weird this week at the end of the week, I kind of wanted to ask people about, where they draw their limits on some of the financial stuff. But I get it. It's not really an easy conversation to have. Did you guys see Dynamite's big news? Dynamite has added universal distribution for U.S. distribution.
Oh, wow.
So as Universal expands comics in the U.S., Dynamite is adding them starting the first of the year. So, guys, we had some sketchy weeks there where it was kind of hard to get your Dynamites, where they weren't everywhere. They were kind of hard to find. But now they're everywhere because they got 2 different distributors. Yay!
Awesome.
Oh, who was on Miss Jen's show on Tuesday?
Oh, yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
Did you? So after Miss Jen's show on Tuesday, I get a bunch of frantic texts.
Oh, yeah.
What do you know? Who talked? Who told you? And I go, I do not know to what you are referring. Because I didn't at the time. Come to find out Friday, the news drops. They are making a Red Coat movie. So Tuesday night on Miss Jen's show, we were fantasy casting Red Coat. And now, as it turns out, they're making a Red Coat movie. Listen, guys, I'm going to try to be less of a psychic. But I'm not going to make any promises because, I didn't know. That's the wild thing, right? I did not know. That it was a thing that was going to get announced.
Yeah, you don't get me wrong, all of them are prime and perfect for it, but the fact that they went with Red Coat first, instead of doing Geiger or something, we were just football and we were just having fun, and then the next thing I know, oh yeah, by the way, they really are doing a Red Coat movie.
Right.
Matt Ryan for Simon Pure still.
I'm with that. I like Matt Ryan, although I've heard the name of another actor who apparently may or may not have been subliminally part of the inspiration. But when asked about this particular actor, the creator, the artist, the Brian Hitch, had no idea who the hell we were talking about. So it was subliminal, perhaps, or not. But I'm not going to say the name because then I'm just going to get in more trouble. But when I tell the story about how C.B. Cebulski thinks I'm a witch from Marvel, now everybody at Ghost Machine thinks I'm psychic.
Maybe you just know good stuff, man.
Or maybe I just pay attention and can connect the dots. So since Ed didn't want to come hang out, and Nope didn't want to come hang out, and Sean apparently doesn't exist, we didn't have much of a hangout tonight, which is fine. I got to do my little technical test and figure out that I need to work on this GoPro so I can use it with that GoPro, and I don't have to use my cell phone anymore. But in the meantime, let's talk about what's happening this week. So tomorrow, that was not intentional. Stop moving. There we go. I had to press the button on this GoPro. That's over. That's right there. Anyway, so this week, tomorrow, we have Comic Collectibles with Rex. That'll be the normal show. Big B McFly, the comic guy, and Bronze Age Nerd are talking about, and they told me, and I probably forgot, that's right, they're going to have Sean from Overstreet Access to joining them to talk about the latest features that they've added, which, if you haven't used, they're great. There's a new Rocketeer series coming, and Dynamite is adding the distributors, which we just talked about, on Big B and Bronze's show. Tuesday, we've got the new show with Rich, which is we still have to come up with a good name for. He's gonna call it a thing, and I'm not gonna let him call it that thing because it's like not a good name. Like it's just kind of clunky.
Gotcha.
So we'll come up with a good name. So the new show with him at 5. Then Miss Jen comes on at 7, and I think we fixed our technical problems. By the way, Jay, you and I have to meet tomorrow to go over these technical problems.
Okay. How
to correct. So we fixed our technical problems with CBSN that we had this week. So we will be live here at 7 for Minute to Skim It and on CBSN, and then we will be tomorrow's Comics Tuesday. On Tuesday with Miss Jen at 8 from 8 to 10. And then at 10 o'clock, Jay and I will be back with I will be caught up. I will have all of the invoicing done, and anybody who's paid scrap will be shipped. So that will be fun on Tuesday. I don't know what we're going to offer because I don't know where any of my stuff is, but we'll figure it out. Oh, I may know what I'm going to offer. I have to make a phone call tomorrow. Anyway, then on Wednesday, Hump Day Heroes are taking a day off. So it's just Rex, or is it? We'll find out. Maybe we do something. Maybe we don't. We'll see. Thursday, we'll be back with What's in the Box. The Geek Chat is off. And then Mel and Mog will be back with another great episode of Sketch Up with Mel and Mog. Friday morning, I will be here with Matthias for Order Up, the Final Order Cutoff show, followed by Nick. Nick has really killer art. He sent me his art for the art show, and one of them is a Nicholas Scott Red Sonja cover, where it's like a super sexy Red Sonja with a big sword, and she's just holding a dude's severed head. And the only things that are in color on the cover are Sonja's hair and the blood on the sword. Pretty sick, I'll be honest. Really, really like it. Then Nancy will be here. Then we will be back next Sunday. Nancy will be here Friday night, 9 o'clock to 11 for Friday Night Live for Comics Unlimited. We will be back next Sunday. The week, starting a week from today, is Thanksgiving week. Make sure you follow us on the social medias. We don't post a lot on social media. We don't send a lot of emails. We'll be sending out emails with schedule updates. I don't think we'll probably be having an FOC show. I would imagine everybody's going to be off on Thursday. We'll see about Wednesday. But we will definitely be back a week from Sunday. So regardless of what happens, even if I'm just here selling you scraps of turkey, we will be here.
Nice.
Han heard scraps of turkey and got excited, didn't he?
Yeah.
So that's the schedule going forward, guys. Thank you for coming and hanging out. I know it was a little bit of a weird show, but I wanted to be here rather than not be here. Hold on, I'll show you. Ignore the suitcase, but everything else over there is to be shipped.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah. The suitcase is just the case that I use for hauling stuff around when I have gigs. So, like, it's got my wires and stuff that I needed for setup in it. So, all right, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Jay, thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Everybody, go out and support somebody who's doing something you like. It's a great way to to support people this season, especially if you're trying to not support, giant multinational conglomerates who are taking advantage of people, or, you're supporting a boycott for whatever reason, or, you just don't want to people, because, like, best reason of all is to not people. Find somebody, a local shop, a local bookstore, an independent bookseller, an independent creator, somebody who's doing something you like, and try as hard as you can, if you can afford to slide them a few bucks. It's the best thing you can do this holiday. So, for Jay, I've been Kyle, and I can feel a sneeze coming on, so I'm going to hit the button. We'll see you next time. Bye.